Welcome to the Wise Doula podcast, a place for informative, uplifting, and educational conversations. Here we will discuss everything connected to the parenting journey, from conception and birth to postpartum and beyond. You are amongst friends here. This is a place to share our common wisdom and learn together. So go ahead, grab your favorite drink. Remember, not caffeinated if you are expecting, and join me inside. I can't wait to speak with you. Well, hello, my dear listeners. Welcome and thank you for being here today. Well, I have a special treat for you today. We're going to talk about something that might be totally new to you or might be a little familiar, but definitely not what you would expect from a doula podcast. If you are listening to me, I have a special surprise. If you are watching this episode on YouTube, you are already seeing that surprise with your own eyes. Yep, today I am in costume. Today I am dressed as a steampunk nurse. So I have my fun goggles, I have my pocket watch, my apron, my stethoscope, my gloves. I am ready. Today I come to you as Nurse Katerina. And you might be wondering, why am I in costume and how is that connected to the episode? Don't you worry. We are going to get there. Just be patient, my little one. We will get there, I promise. So I am in costume because today I attended a virtual costume party. And because this costume connects with something we are going to talk about. But let's begin at the beginning. Have you heard of ASMR? Do you know what that is? If you haven't heard, are you curious as to what it is? Are you wondering? If you're wondering, you are in luck because we are going to talk about it. So 4 mysterious letters. A, S, M, R. They stand for autonomous sensory meridian response. If we zero in on 2 of those words, sensory response, we already know that sensory is connected to the senses, right? So something that is connected to how the senses respond. So ASMR, autonomous sensory meridian response, describes this tingling sensation that starts at the crown of your head and goes down your spine and your back. And it induces these feelings of relaxation and calming. Okay, so it's that tingly feeling. Sometimes it's called brain tingles. Now, I have to tell you, not everybody experiences ASMR. Some people do and some people don't. But what is really cool about ASMR is that it's felt both physically and psychologically. So physically, it is felt in those tingles that start at the crown of our head and go down, you know, that tingling sensation. And psychologically, it's felt with a sensation of calm, of being relaxed, of being soothed, you know, of being at peace. So that is really amazing. Now, you might be wondering, well, how do you get ASMR? In order to get ASMR, you need for somebody or something to trigger the sensation. So something is going to trigger that ASMR sensation. And in this situation, trigger is a good word, you know. Trigger means it initiates something. So not a trigger of a traumatic situation or anything like that, a trigger that initiates something pleasant, right? So, what are some examples of triggers? And I am checking my notes because I'm a note taker, I'm a note girl. So, okay, so what are some examples of triggers? So, sounds, whispers. Hello, how are you doing today? Something like that. Not creepy whispers, wonderful whispers. Playing with your hair, personal attention. Okay, being careful. All of those are examples of triggers that would cause that ASMR sensation. ASMR is pretty cool and it has been around since about 2009. That's when the first forums started talking about it. I mean, the sensation has been around longer, but I mean, talking about it, discovering about it. And honestly, many of us have felt it probably since we were kids, the feeling of somebody slowly turning the pages of a book, the quiet shushing for a baby or to help somebody sleep. Maybe the sound of somebody's heels on a wooden floor. There are many, many sounds that we have associated with pleasure since we were little. And maybe into adult life, we remember some of them, but not all of them, or we don't pay too much attention to them, but they are definitely there. There is a funny thing with ASMR, and it's that when you start talking to people about the fact that you like ASMR, you watch ASMR videos, people get this sort of funny look in their eye. And the reason for that is that there is a lot of misconceptions surrounding ASMR, and a lot of people think that ASMR is for sexual gratification, for sexual pleasure. Okay, that's a big misconception. When the majority of users of ASMR are actually looking for those videos to relax, to calm down, to help them fall asleep, to help them go back to sleep, to help them release anxiety, etc. Another misconception for ASMR might be that maybe a lot of people actually tell me, oh, yeah, ASMR, isn't that the thing with like the weird sounds? And I looked at a video once and that's not my style. Okay, so like we're going to learn in a little bit, there are a multitude of triggers. Okay, so sounds are only one of them. And the interesting thing with sounds is that somebody might absolutely love the sound of tapping. Okay. And another person might find it extremely aggravating. If you think about balloons, the sound of a balloon, like rubbing a balloon against another balloon, for me, it's absolutely cringy. But some people are okay with that. Fine example, you have artists, clowns that actually make animals out of balloons. I couldn't do that. That's a lot. So some sounds that are pleasurable and good positive triggers for some people are actually misophonic for other people. They actually bother them. That's with sound. The same with, you know, playing scenarios, the same with visual triggers, the things that are pleasant and calming and soothing to one person might not be to another. So it is a misconception to think that, oh, if I don't like sounds with the microphone, if I don't like tapping, if I don't like scratching sounds, then ASMR is not for me. That's another misconception. There are as many different styles of ASMR as you can count, and so many artists out there, exploring different ways of doing ASMR. Of course, there is a lot of unity in what pretty much the norm is, right? If you're talking about audio, people are doing trigger words, whispering trigger words. They're doing whisper readings. They are maybe whispering your name on the microphone, or reading something. Maybe they're reading a magazine, reading a newspaper with this really soft voice. So there is quite a lot that you can find just with sound. The same with visual, etc. So don't be quick to judge ASMR because there is so much that you can do with it and so much that you can find with it. That's one of my big takes for today, but we will summarize those at the end. So you might be wondering, hey, Marta, well, how did you find ASMR and why are people so into ASMR? Why do they use it? And the thing with that is that people are looking for it because it calms them down, it relaxes them, it helps them go to sleep, it helps them release some anxiety. So these are all reasons why people look for it and feel very comforted. And you might be thinking, oh my goodness, but it's a video, and the person on the other side is actually not seeing you, and how is that working? But the same as if you close your eyes, you might have a very good memory of an interaction you had with your favorite teacher when you were little, and how they took care of you when you were sad because your friends didn't invite you to a birthday party, for example. And if you close your eyes, can you remember that experience? I bet you can remember every single word, every sound, what you were doing at the time, everything, because it's imprinted in our memory. So ASMR works along those same channels. The things that were pleasurable for us growing up, that were soothing, that were calming, still calm us to this day, you know? And you might think it's silly, but maybe somebody doing that role play, taking care of you, feels very comforting. Or somebody doing um, a, a, a nursing ASMR video that is taking care of you gently and in a very nurturing way is soothing for you. Or maybe going to get a massage and the sounds and the feelings of that massage coming back. So that's where the experience is incredibly amazing. And I will tell you a little bit of my experience a little bit later, okay? I'm sure you want to hear about that. But yeah, those are the main reasons: to rest, to decompress, to relax, to soothe, to go back to sleep, to breathe, to calm down. So if we talk about audio triggers would be anything that would cause a sound that would, um, you know, soothe and relax you. So if you're looking at my video, here is a jar of beads, and I could shake this jar, or I could open the jar and put a little spoon inside and go around and move those beads around. That could be very soothing. And of course, you wouldn't have a whole video with just one jar. You would have a multitude. You would have maybe, if you're watching a video with audio triggers, you would have some sounds with the jar. You would have some sounds with like a crinkly paper, such as this one. You might have some tapping sounds with a little wooden shape, such as this flower, like tapping or brushing or rubbing. Yeah. Or you could have um, little tiny bottles with beads that when we shake them, they create this rhythmic, soothing sound, right? So those would all be examples of audio triggers. And like I said, in a video with an artist, they're going to be organized and woven into a sequence, a story, etc. Another thing that you will see in ASMR videos when it comes to audio triggers, you will see words. And let's do a few words here. Whisper a few trigger words. Blend, bliss, chocolate, kiss, lipstick, lollipop, So those are some trigger words that have sounds that create a relaxing feeling to our brain. So that would be for audio. If we were watching a video where the artist was doing more of the touch triggers, let me show you. If you're on audio, I'm going to describe it to the best of my ability. We could use a makeup brush and gently brush, pretend that we are brushing the face of the person that is interacting with us, right? And that's what I'm doing right now with the brush. And you would do it in a very gentle and soothing way. And believe it or not, that is extremely soothing. I can attest to that. We could use a hairbrush and pretend that we are brushing the hair of the person that is with us. And of course, there would be a dialogue going alongside it, okay? So it wouldn't just be brushing for the sake of brushing, but it would be like, let me brush your hair. Oh, your hair is so beautiful. It's so soft, blah, blah, blah. That would be, or we could also do a face massage and be experiencing, the artist moving their hands around the screen like they're massaging our face. So those would all be touch triggers. And then we also have observation triggers. And observation triggers as simple as maybe watching a video of an artist that is showing you their bead collection, like I'm doing right now. See, I have my little bottles of beads. So if I was organizing my beads, pouring them into the bottles, sorting them by color, that would be an observation trigger. Bob Ross, for example, is an excellent example of an observation trigger as well. And then we get to the following type of trigger, and the reason why I am dressed in costume today. And the next type of trigger is called a scenario or a role play. So in a scenario or a role play, what we are doing is combining all of these triggers that we have talked about and wrapping them nicely in the setting of a story. So in the setting of my story, what would happen? You have been stranded in a desert land, completely alone, nobody around to help you. You wake up and you notice you are bleeding. You don't even know how you got that wound on your head. What are you going to do? Also, you are feeling some pain on your side, but you're almost afraid to look. You don't want to look. What if it's really bad and now you're completely alone? What are you going to do? In the distance, a figure appears. You see that this person has a red cross and you realize they're here to help you. And so in this situation, if I was doing ASMR with another person, I would say, how did you get here? What happened? Are you okay? Let me look at you for a second. Yep, it's okay. It's okay. I am a nurse. I'll take care of you. Don't worry. Let me see your head. It looks like you are bleeding. Let's take care of that right now. And I would use, for example, a cotton pad to wipe the forehead. And then the dialogue would continue, and maybe we would be using other tools, other visual triggers, etc., to continue rolling into that story. Now, you might be the kind of person that doesn't feel relaxed thinking about bleeding and being injured and stuff like that. But like I said, there are a myriad of experiences. So for some people, a medical role play is very, very soothing. Okay, that feeling of having somebody take care of you, etc., is very soothing. For other people, it might be that they've loved libraries since they were little. And to them, a librarian creating those shushing sounds is very comforting to them. The sounds of pages turning, that might be very, very comforting. Somebody else, it might be a massage situation. They really feel comforted in being taken care of by a massage therapist. And so the ASMR artist would be creating that experience. The same with a hairstylist, taking care of your hair, blowing your hair, washing, whatever. So all of these role plays are to put you in the situation. It's always a situation where somebody's taking care of you. They're very nurturing. They're protecting you. They're gently caring for you and they're helping you. And so when all of those things line up, you feel calm, you feel relaxed. It might give, like I said, evoke a feeling of your parents caring for you when you were little, your teacher, your grandmother, and it brings to memory all those experiences. So role plays might or might not be your cup of tea. The same as with any other type of ASMR video, you really have to look and see what speaks to you, both in themes, in artists, etc. So, what is really amazing about ASMR is that we have different chemicals working together. The main one, and you're going to know it before I mention it, is oxytocin, the love hormone that is present in childbirth, plays an important role in lactation, and of course, is present during sexual activity and during orgasm. It's also present when we hug somebody. It's present when we touch our favorite pet and we pet them. It is called the love hormone for a reason, and it's so important in so many processes in our body. On top of oxytocin, we also have other chemicals. And if you know our body, a hormone, a chemical rarely works in isolation, right? There is always a combination. There is always a delicate dance. Maybe this chemical is going up while this chemical is coming down, and then they do the opposite dance. Yes? And so on top of oxytocin, we have dopamine, serotonin, melatonin, GABA working together, okay? And creating those pleasant sensations. And of course, you're thinking, well, this is fine and dandy, Marta. This is fine. This is fine. And this sounds kind of cool, It sounds interesting. Okay. Maybe I'll give it a try. So you've gotten to this point and you're eagerly waiting to hear how am I incorporating this into the work that I do with my clients that are looking for a baby, already pregnant, or going through the postpartum period. And like I said at the beginning of the episode, I am not an ASMR artist. So I enjoy the content. I want to share it with you today, but this is not something I do. I don't have a YouTube channel or anything like that, right? But I share it with my clients as an excellent resource. How can it help you when you are looking for your baby, pregnant, in postpartum, your baby's a little older, etc.? Well, let's remember that we said that ASMR is excellent for relaxation, soothing, calming down, etc. And let's think about all the circumstances that surrounded life before a baby, during a baby, after a baby. There is a lot going on, right? There is a lot going on. There are a lot of emotions. There are a lot of changes, hormonal, physical changes. There are changes that are happening in the couple, adjustments in the couple, trying to figure out life with this new little human being. So there is quite a lot that goes on, and it is very normal that our sleep patterns get affected. Well, obviously, because we have to wake up to feed the baby. So clearly in postpartum, that's going to happen. But our sleep patterns get affected. are all those hormonal changes and relationship changes and everything that is ebb and flow during pregnancy is going to have an impact on our emotions. And so these are times when we really need to reinforce and really strengthen our self-care tips, our emotional health, our mental health. Yes. So in pregnancy, for example, ASMR videos can help you fall asleep, especially as the pregnancy progresses and the the belly gets bigger and it gets more uncomfortable to sleep. ASMR can help you with that. Also, you might be experiencing some anxiety, some worry, um, having a tough time during pregnancy, overthinking. ASMR can help you with calming down, breathing, meditating, soothing, etc. If we think about postpartum and you're waking up to feed the baby and then you're trying to go back to sleep and waking up again, it's a very disruptive pattern, right? And it is what it is. It needs to happen because babies have specific needs that we need to take care of them in those short intervals. And so ASMR can really help you when you wake up and you're trying to go back to sleep. Well, if you find a video that soothes you, that calms you down, you go back to sleep. Okay. If you are a busy parent, I encourage you also to use ASMR to wind down as you put your kids down for a nap. Or you could even look at some whisper readings, whisper stories that ASMR artists have done. Just make sure that the story is appropriate for children and that could be used as a soothing technique with children. I can tell you that when I was a teacher, and I was a teacher for many years, more than 2 decades, the times that I got the best attention from my preschool students was when I was reading a story in a very soft voice. If they were a little antsy, a little noisy, they would all quiet down, calm down, and listen. If you have children, you know that's exactly how it is, right? How they can read the energy of a room and calm down as the room calms down. So ASMR again to the rescue. Now, I promise I was going to tell you my experience, and I am going to do that. And you'll get to hear more about it in next week's episode. But just to give you an overview, as I found ASMR and I seriously got into watching the videos um, earlier this year, it was a decent amount of trial and error, a decent amount of sampling different styles, different artists, and seeing what really spoke to my heart and what really helped me calm down. And I did find, you know, an artist and videos that really helped me calm down. So what are the changes that I have noticed that I have enjoyed as part of using ASMR as one of my tools? I can fall asleep more calmly and better because I have struggled with insomnia before. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I will play one of the videos that I know soothes me down and I will go back to sleep. I have used the videos when I've had times where my anxiety has been higher and I've been worried or anxious or concerned about something. And I know that going and accessing that tool really helps me. I have used them also when I needed a guided meditation because a lot of the artists will also incorporate guided meditation. And I also love that they incorporate affirmations. Very important because we don't even know how many times the script we're playing in our head is naggy, naggy, naggy. you're not doing this so well, you're not doing that so well, this thing is not going to work, that's going to fail, by the way. Eh, don't even bother trying that. And so affirmations are very important too. And I can tell you, I definitely, in the months that I've been using ASMR as one of my self care tools, not the only one, but one of them, it has been an amazing resource. I have experienced more calm. I am better at deep breathing. I am getting better at meditation. It's a journey, but I'm getting better. And it feels amazing to be able to calm down and fall asleep, you know. And another thing that feels really amazing is to know that when high anxiety kicks in and you're feeling like every cell of your body is kind of like on edge a little bit, you're like, okay, I know that there is something that is helpful and that is within my fingertips. And let's be honest, so many times, so many things nowadays are expensive or outside of our buying power, or not within our budget. And the beauty of ASMR is that it's free on YouTube as long as you don't mind commercials. um you know it's completely free on YouTube and it's within reach. And another thing I want to tell you is that, just like I mentioned earlier, find what speaks to you. Do not discard the ASMR experience right away because somebody told you it was this sound or that sound, or only microphone rubbing, or only blah blah, or only this sound and that sound and people eating. Don't There is so much out there in the world of ASMR. There is so much beauty and so much goodness. And you know what? We consume so much content online. So much of the content that we consume online, it's not positive, right? It's videos or things that, instead of soothing and calming us, are making us more anxious, more upset, more worried. Now, I am not saying, of course, ignore what's going on around you. Of course, we have to concern ourselves with what's happening. But always remember that it's important that you keep peace within you. It's important that you keep peace within your emotions and health within your body. And health comes in many ways: physical, mental, emotional, in relationships. And I can tell you from my own experience, ASMR videos are one of the tools I use alongside several other tools. And it really helps. And that's my message to you tonight. Okay. If you are going through conception, pregnancy, postpartum, and I am speaking to my clients here, but I'm speaking to all of you. If you're going through a time of change, a time of heightened emotions, a time where you need the support, find the supports available to you in the best places possible. Is one-on-one therapy what you want to do and need to do? Absolutely. Is talking to your doctor and finding out about what resources are available to you? Absolutely. Is joining a support group what you need, what you want? The comfort of being in a group and not one-on-one? Absolutely do that. And maybe on top of all of those things that you're already doing, ASMR comes and it's going to be another piece of your Lego castle, right? Another piece that is going to contribute to you building that excellent physical, mental, and emotional health. Because honestly, when we are well rested, when we have slept well, when we are feeling at peace with our emotions, everything else in our body is flowing, right? If you look at the way traditional Chinese medicine looks at the body is like a tree. And when something is not working in a part of the tree, when something is diseased, the leaves, the branches, we don't just isolate that branch or that leaf. Traditional Chinese medicine looks at the whole system. What is happening in the tree that is causing this or that? So that's the point that I'm making for you today. Consider adding ASMR to your routine. And of course, give it a try. Explore different artists. There are male artists, there are female artists. There are people that do whispering 100%. There are artists that do a combination of whispering and soft spoken. There are people that concentrate on those classical triggers, making those sounds, those visual triggers. There are people that do both those and the role plays. There is so much available to you. There are artists around the world, putting their beautiful content on YouTube and ready for you to find them. So go ahead, give them a try. Hey, if you look at a few and nothing resonates with you, it's okay. It's okay. You tried. But I really want to encourage you to utilize something that is really incredible, beautiful, very positive in your life, and that can make such a difference. Again, if you want to feel more calm, more soothed, more relaxed, have an easier time sleeping, work on those deep breaths that are so important. And let me tell you, yep, when you are feeling upset about something, you remember, let me take a few deep breaths and it will feel better. And boy, does it feel better. So my tip to you is, and remember, today my character is Nurse Katerina. So Nurse Katerina, her tip to you is find what speaks to you. Find what speaks to you. Look for different artists and different options available to you. And explore the possibility of adding a new tool to your suitcase of things you can use to feel better and be better. And in closing, I have a magnificent surprise for you. Next week, I am indeed having an ASMR artist and YouTube content creator. His name is ASMR Jeremiah, and he has an ASMR channel that is absolutely wonderful. So he's going to be here. We're going to be doing an interview together, and he's going to tell us about his channel, his work, how he got into ASMR, how it helps, etc. So it's going to be an incredible interview. What an opportunity to dig deeper into the mind of an actual artist, and hear their thoughts and their process. And I very much hope that you will join us for that next week. And upon that, thank you for being here today. And thank you for spending this time together. Signing off for today, Nurse Katerina says goodbye. Hey, you have listened to the Wise Doula podcast today. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, everything we discussed today was meant for entertainment and educational purposes only. It does not substitute the advice of your medical provider. Would you do us a favor? Follow me on Instagram at LovingBellyDoula. Also, let me know what other topics you would like to see me discuss in this podcast. And please subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platforms. Thank you so much. I will see you next week.